and every time they get on the boat would stink, or the electrical system would short out. So she was having a heck of a time trying to sell this boat. Finally, she did, and she moved back to the States, and somebody referred her to me, and I was sitting there preparing to work on her, and this apparition appears. The face of this old sailor shows up in front of me, and I'm looking at him going, "Who are you? You look like the old man in the sea or something." He goes, "My name is Herman." And then he just disappeared on me. So I thought, well, okay. So the ladies, I'm working with the lady, and we're discussing different things. And I said, "Oh, by the way, do you know anybody named Herman? Did you have a grandfather or somebody named Herman?" She says, "No, that was a ghost on my boat I named Herman."
Ha! So she saw it too.
Well, she didn't see it, but she heard it. So she named him Herman. So Herman came to me because he wanted to cross over. So I sent him into the higher realms of consciousness, and he left very happy. So it shows you that the high souls, they can travel around the world. They can go wherever they want to find somebody that can help them.
Rich, where do demons fit into this equation?
Well, the demons are located in the lower part of Earth, and the Earth has its own chakra system just like we do. And when I go down into Earth, I usually don't go below the center section of the heart. We call it the heart chakra, because there are energy forms of consciousness that are not good. In other words, their intent is the opposite of benevolence. And they can get into people and create a lot of problems. And in my book, I don't suggest people playing with Ouija boards and calling up spirits unless they really know what they're doing.
Good advice.
Otherwise, they'll find themselves preoccupied with some entity that wants to have fun with them in some unusual manner that's not pleasing to them.
Who is stronger, the human individual who wants to fight off demons and evil, or the demons? I mean, can anybody get hit?
I think so. I've been hit many times by them, and I do energy work myself. I've almost died a couple times.
Oh, my God. What happened?
But I have other energy workers come and help me, and then I call on all my helpers like angels and ascended masters and all these, and they come in and help clear me. But a lot of it has to do with your will, but you're dealing with a realm of consciousness that you don't understand.
How did you
almost... It operates in a different dimension.
Rich, tell us how you almost died.
Well, I follow souls when they die. I go, the low souls, I go down, I create a vortex and they go into it, and I follow them into the vortex, into the earth.
You wallow around with them.
Yeah, and I've gone to the wrong places at the wrong time.
Is there a hell?
Well, there's places that are very unpleasant, let's put it that way.
So you've been down there?
Yeah.
How'd you get out?
I always have an angel that comes with me and helps me, assist me.
Have you ever almost been stuck?
No, I've always been able to get myself out because I've always had a backup. And I always have a backup to pull me out.
Can you describe what this lower level, this other plane looks like?
It's dark. It's very low vibrational energy. It's some places it's very warm because you're in the earth. And those lower creatures, they're not very friendly because basically they've come here under different premises of not being, they got their own agenda. So I don't really spend much time down there.
I don't blame you.
I would rather be up in the heavenly realms where the angels are, and I like to go up into the higher dimensions and see the souls up there, and they go to the little crystal palaces and all kinds of different places to their soul groups, and it's very interesting. Every soul group goes to basically a different place. So when you're asking, well, describe what heaven is, pretty much anything you think of is up there for a time being, anyway.
Do you remember the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Those entities, those ghoulish entities that would come out of the sewers and stuff to grab somebody, is that real?
It's not far-fetched. It may not exactly look like that, but
pretty darn close, isn't it?
Well, they take on dark energy. Some spirits have the ability to manifest themselves into different figures and forms. So what they try to do is put fear in you, because fear is the tool where they can get your energy. Fear is the worst thing you can have. So when I go into those things and I see them, I get angry with them, and they leave me alone because I have more energy than they do. And then I bring in more light. Light dispels darkness.
Well, it sure does.
That's why people that do what I do are called light workers. It just simply means that we've learned to manifest energy as light. But there are a lot of dark energies that are very, very powerful, and they're not to be discredited by any means. They are very powerful, and they should be respected and left alone.
Rich, as you get into this, do you find, and this is what it hurt Edgar Casey. He did so many trance readings, tried to help so many people. It drained him. It ended up killing him.
Right.
Are you concerned about that?
Yes. I only work on so many people per day, and I do take time off. And I live in Maui, where I go swimming every day. You have to really, really watch your energy level when you do this kind of stuff. And Edgar Casey, he couldn't say no to people. He just kept, people would come all hours of the day, and he just kept working until
he never stopped.
He just died. And even though his whole family warned him. So, there's a lot of energy workers that don't live too long because of that.
And you feel that sometimes?
Yes. And that's why I try to limit my work.
Yet sometimes it's hard to turn people back, isn't it?
Well, I just reschedule them. That's all there is to it. I have to explain to them, I'm no good to you if I'm sick.
Is there sometimes an immediacy to what they need?
Well, I'll refer them to someone else I know that does the same thing I do. The only people I don't turn away is my own family, because sometimes you've got to do something. But I have other people I know that are very, very good at this, and I'll just refer them to someone else that can help them, because I've learned not to be too tired, and I've had to turn several people away this week because I'm just too tired. I say, I'm sorry. We'll have to schedule something next week, or here's the number of a couple other people you can contact if you choose.
When you're trying to heal somebody, do you have to touch them, or do you just have to be near them? How does that work?
Well, most of my healing's telepathic. I don't have to be with anybody. All I have to do is tie into their energy field. The first thing is you have to have their permission. And then you have to, because maybe the illness is there for a reason, and you're not to mess with somebody's karma. You're not to heal someone that's not supposed to be healed, because maybe they're supposed to experience it. So not everybody gets healed. That's hard for healers to accept, because everybody wants to think they can do everything for everybody. But they really need to learn. You need to ask permission and get permission from their higher self, their angels, to work on them.
Well, when people want to get healed and it does not work, how upset do they get?
How much what?
And it doesn't work, how upset do they get?
I just had a lady last week that she just couldn't understand, and I said, well, I'm sorry, but there's a reason for why you are the way you are. Now, let's quit looking at you as a victim, and let's look at yourself as there's lessons to be learned. That's one of the laws of the universe. It's called the law of relativity. We come here to experience, we are thrown problems to solve, challenges to occur. That's why we don't have these blissful little lives that we run around and anything never happens to us, because we're supposed to have stuff happen to us. And if they get upset, there's nothing I can do about it. I try to reason with them, but they have to understand there's a reason. There's another universal law, the law of cause and effect. There's a reason for everything. You came here to Earth, you got to figure it out. You came here, you need to figure out what your lessons are.
Do some of the spirits, are they tricksters sometimes? Playing games?
Oh, absolutely.
What do they do? Any examples?
Well, I can talk. My father-in-law, now he's a good guy, okay? He died about, 10 years ago. And I'll read you this, I'll just tell you a little experience. He came to me tonight when I was cooking dinner, and his name is George, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah, nice guy.
Most Georges are.
And he came, and I was looking at him, and I said, George, how come you're wearing your American Oil work shirt? It's blue with an orange tag that says American Oil, because he used to own a gas station. And I said, you've been dead for 10 or 12 years. How come, don't you have a white robe or something to wear? I mean, he says, I like my uniform. So anyway, so he comes and does all kinds of stuff, like he'll knock on the door, our bedroom door, and we get up and answer. There's nobody there. He actually turned the faucet on in our patio, and the water was running out of our faucet outside, and I thought it was some prankster teenagers, and I go running out there, and there's nobody there. He just wanted to get our attention. He leaves coins with us all the time. He creates these kind of like spider web, cobwebs. So if I'm walking someplace and I feel like I'm walking through a spider web, he's there to tell me he's there.
Tell him to leave gold coins next time.
I've been working on those $100 bills.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's an example, kind of a funny one. My wife one day at home, she asked me for some grocery money, so I just gave her a $20 bill and put it on her bed, and she laid it on the bed. Then she left the room to get a basket of laundry to fold on the bed, okay? So when she returned, the money wasn't on the bed. Oh, she had to use the restroom really bad, so she dumped the laundry basket in the middle of the bed and ran into the bathroom. And when she came out, there was a $20 bill sitting on the basket.
Right there.
Right there.
There's no way by dropping it, it would have pulled it up to the top or anything.
No.
That's bizarre. All right, Rich, stay with us. We're going to take this quick break. We're going to come back with phone calls for you next on Coast to Coast AM.